I started the 45 milligrams of the Mirtazapine on the 14th of May 2022. It's now the 28th of May 2022. So I've been on the med for nearly 2 weeks now. This dose of the med, I should say. It's been rough, I'm not gonna lie, the past however long. On this med, I've been on since January, varying from 15 to 30, now on 45. And I haven't felt happy once on it. I haven't felt happy, the emotion of happiness in 2.5 years. So even before I was on the med, I felt really numb, depressed, anxious. I felt like most of my life was almost in my childhood. But the last 2.5, 3 years have been very, very challenging. And the Mirtazapine hasn't changed that. This weekend, I've been left alone by myself. My family went on holiday. I was supposed to be going, but I didn't feel up to it. So I have the house to myself, which I found quite nerve-wracking. My family left on the Friday morning. The Thursday night, my anxiety was sky high in anticipation. Well, it was pretty much as bad as it was without any medication. I was spiraling, I nearly having a meltdown, shaking, sweating in bed. I've been in bed the last 2 days all the time. Last night I hadn't had very much to eat, so I was trying to catch up. I'm still only on liquid calories. Solid food is very difficult for us. So I tried to catch up. I drank loads of my liquid calories, not much more than I usually would drink, and I ended up vomiting all over the floor, all over myself. So I lost a lot of the important calories I needed. And it's interesting, I was 120 pounds 2 days ago. And it was only yesterday that I dropped well below me recommended calorie intake. I had about probably 1,000 calories yesterday when you take off the stuff I vomited back up. And I went from 120.4 pounds down to 117.2 pounds a day. So I've lost 3 pounds in a couple of days. So obviously, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just the water weight I've lost from the med. Because I did vomit like an hour and a half after taking the Mirtazapine, so most of it would have been absorbed last night. But I don't know, I've had a bad stomach and all that, so maybe all those things have resulted in the weight loss. But yeah, it's pretty shit because I can't afford to lose weight and I'm feeling pretty awful now, but I haven't had a lot to eat. So it's very hard not to spiral right now because my anxiety is still super high. Like, even once that anticipation anxiety died down, like, I've still been super anxious. Yesterday was my first full day by myself and I was anxious all day. It's interesting though because up until, it's like a placebo effect, because I was really anxious and I took my Mirtazapine at 10 p.m. and my anxiety calmed down quite a lot. So maybe when I take it, it's a placebo effect and maybe the drug is doing something, but it wears off very quickly. Even though I'm on the top dose, it seems like my anxiety can come roaring back even early in the afternoon the next day. So it doesn't seem to have a consistent effect. So there's a lot going on, I know. I'm just trying to blurt out everything that's been happening. It's very difficult to say what's causing what because it has been a stressful period for us. But yeah, the Mirtazapine hasn't helped us really stay calm, and maybe without the Mirtazapine I might have spiraled into a massive panic attack and ended up in A&E. But it's still super high anxiety and really uncomfortable. So yeah, the Mirtazapine hasn't saved us from not being able to eat, because I still can't eat properly. I'm losing weight again and it's just a big stress. Mirtazapine is supposed to have an anti-emetic effect, so like anti-nausea, stop you from being sick and stuff. I don't know whether it's the lower doses which do that or what, but yesterday was the first time I've ever actually been sick on this medication. In the 6 months or so I've been on it. So that's another thing. It's just a lot going on. Like, I still feel really depressed. My depression when it gets really low is as bad as I remember it before the drug. I haven't really felt calmness or serenity, happiness, nothing. Like those emotions haven't came through. There's been times where I felt they were bubbling on the surface, but I'm quite a complex case where I struggle to eat, lose loads of weight, I'm underweight, have depression, anxiety, dissociation, chronic dissociation where this shit nothing feels real. Like everything's a massive blur. I can't feel connected to anything, and it's been constant for 2.5 years. So there's so much going on that it all kind of feeds into each other, and it's very difficult to appreciate things. Like hence why I just want to die all the time. Like nothing feels worth it. Like the anxiety gets super high, and I want it to end. The anxiety ends, the depression ramps up, or I just go back to me state of numbness, which isn't living. It's just kind of waiting until the next difficult period of anxiety or depression. Like, I'm not taking anything in. It's like I'm a pincushion constantly getting stabbed by mental health or physical health. Like it's crazy. The stuff I want to talk about more in other videos, like I have osteoporosis from the chronic anxiety, the lack of eating, being underweight. So I'm only 21 with osteoporosis, which is typically only present in 70-year-old female elderly women. So it's pretty crazy. It's irreversible as well. So there's a lot of shit. I'm also going to be getting a tube inside my body to check like my stomach and whatnot, and maybe I have some stomach issues. I've mentioned IBS, but things get really bad sometimes. I wonder if it's maybe Crohn's or ulcerative colitis or whatever you call it. Colitis, UC is the abbreviation. But that isn't going to happen for another month, so we'll see what happens from that. But yeah, I don't know. It's really stressful. Still have dry eyes as a side effect, I guess, but other than that, like, not much. And I've only been on the 45 milligrams for 2 weeks, and it takes time to maybe have an effect. But this isn't an SSRI. It has antihistamine properties, so it should be more faster acting than your typical SSRI. This is completely different med, but I guess some people just take longer for the kick in. Maybe I don't really know. The psychologist has told us that it is quite addicting. I think she's had some bad experiences from Mirtazapine. So she doesn't want us on it for too long if it isn't having the positive effects she wants us off it sooner rather than later. So that's more to follow and discuss in later videos. I don't know how long I've been talking for, but hopefully it's quite useful. I think I've kind of covered some quite unique points that maybe doesn't apply to many people, so hopefully somebody at least finds this useful. I know someone will. I don't know why I'm not being very confident in that. I am sharing quite personal experiences, which are very challenging, and I want to make sure that's out there, so if someone's kind of either on this drug or wanting to start it, that will kind of have at least some information on a certain aspect that they're hoping that the Mirtazapine might address, or possibly worse, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. 2 weeks, nearly 2 weeks of 45 milligrams. This is where we are. Maybe this is just a bad stretch, and maybe I'll recover once the stressful period is over. In terms of being able to eat, at least me calorie recommendation to maintain me weight. But who knows? I managed 1,000 yesterday. Because I've been quite stressed, I only managed 1,900 a day before, 1,800 a day before, whereas I was typically hitting at least 2,000 each day before that, anywhere up to 2,500, which was pretty good for me. But yeah, that's calories, in case I didn't mention that. But yeah, I'm going to end it here because I've been going on for quite a long time now. Yeah, as always, I'll keep you updated on this journey, no matter what happens, as long as I'm not, you know what I mean? So yeah, catch you later on.